Hello, YouTubers. Reloading Bench back with you once again. And we're going to talk Unisaw. Delta Rockwell Unisaw. All right, so I'm at the point where I'm going to wire things up. And, I've got a cord like this. And I did this. And then I wired the motor, as you saw, or maybe you haven't seen it yet, as I did a long time ago. And I used, instead of twist nuts or wire nuts, I used these Wago lever nuts because it saved space and it was really easy and it was kind of secure. So I took my original ball switch rather, and I tried to do this. And, obviously I had more of this covering cut away when I did it, but I tried to do that. And this is a different switch. So they're not on the side, they're on the top, and I was able to do it. And I ran power and I turned it on and it worked. But man, was it janky. And, when I looked at it, and I did the power on the bottom as a temporary because I'm going to get creative with what I'm ultimately going to do. But I'm like, God, there's got to be a better way. And then I decided I'm going to use wires with these little ring terminals. So I wired up and trying to put these brass screws, so they're non ferrous, so they're no magnet. So working with this was just a pain in the behind in this confined space. What is the equivalent of this? When you've got this big ass cable coming up, you've got one coming in from the motor, you've got one coming in from power, and you don't have a lot of room in here. So just like any other power / light switch / whatever. So I thought to myself, what am I going to do? And then I remembered these things. So I went to the store and I picked up two kinds. I picked up a single end to end, and I picked up the smaller version, which is essentially this, but instead of being a 3-conductor, it's a 2-conductor because I have, 2 sets of 2. One to go to the motor, one to go to power. So my idea was, and I didn't know which one would be better because, when you look at this one, it takes up a lot of space. This one's kind of tiny and tight. So I think I'm going to start with this one. And what am I going to do, and I'll bring you over to the saw. I would need 4 of these. And then I have the green, the ground, the green, the ground. Okay. So, and again, because these go this way, I don't know how easy. Let's put these on the outside. So I'll put this one. And these things are a joy to use because even these things are a pain in the ass. I'd clamp them on and they'd come off. And you're like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What am I doing here? I'm doing the insides. All right. So I'll bring you over to the saw. See how nice and tidy that is? None of this janky jank. And then when I took this off, there was electrical tape over it and whatnot. You have frayed stuff everywhere. So I'm hoping this is a better solution. And again, because I want temporary power, because this isn't going to be my final power solution, but I'll use it to test. So hang on, let me go over to the saw. All right, so I have prepped ground for power coming up, and I've prepped for ground coming through from the motor. So because this is limited space, I will try and connect these off camera and see how it actually works. Maybe back later. All right, so that's how things are looking right now for power to the motor, and then power from house down here, and then I'll deal with the two grounds. Back shortly. All right, that's what it looks like. So we have ground to ground in the back, power, motor to motor. So now we will do, I will test it with real power. So I will connect this temporary power to this and see if we're working. Back shortly. All right, we are all wired. So the motor is permanently wired, and the house power to the actual saw is temporary via this janky pedal cable. Again, temporary because my final power solution is going to leverage this, but I'm going to have paddle power, paddle on and off. So this will pay homage to the original, and it will always be in the on position. It's in the off position right now. So let me set the tripod up and we'll see if it powers up. All right, so I'm not getting a shock yet. No shock. Okay, it's in the on position. It will not turn on unless my foot touches the pedal. And let's see what happens. Oh yeah. Sweetness. Just so you know what I'm doing. Naturally, the camera's tripod has to be in the way. Everything's always in the way. All right, so this is power. All right, we're golden. Sounds good. And my little solution that allows me to quickly attach and detach power works quite nicely. So we have temporary power. Let me disconnect my little pedal. So we have temporary power. And that's not the final, as I said, solution. So you've probably, well, you may not have seen the video on what I'm going to do with this, but I have plans for this. So this will always be on in the locked position, and this will feed into the paddle power. So that's why this is temporary, because I don't know how long this needs to be. I'm guessing maybe 10 inches a foot. And then the paddle power will be the main power on and off for the Unisaw. So 2024 meets 1950. More later.